So I want to talk about an older game from the early 2000s that a lot of people who were emo, alt, or scene would have probably had in their peripherals or even dabbled in themselves, or they actually played this game. It's for people who were into online chat rooms like Have a Hotel, Zwinkies, IMVU. This was a time when a lot of these games took surface because the internet was starting to get more popular for people who felt like they had to vent or they had nowhere to really go to just talk for, I don't know, hours, or they just wanted more connection. It was really ticking off for people who wanted to just have someone to talk to. The problem with these online games during this time was a lot of it was unmonitored. A lot of it was not regulated. It was the main reason why these started to die off, because parents started getting concerned. Users of these platforms realized that they were probably being scammed or groomed. I want to take a look back on this specific game called Meez, and I'm mostly going to talk with personal experience regarding this specific online chat room game, in quotes, because there's not a lot of information left on Meez, like information on the forums, all the posts that were on there. A lot of the information is just gone. But if you have any personal experiences regarding this game or anything you just want to share regarding this memory, please leave in the comments below. I would love to hear it. So let's get into this. Meez was truly an experience. It was an enigma of its time. It was more similar to Have a Hotel because it was browser based, but the avatars were more 3D, so it had similarities to IMVU in that way. It was also similar to IMVU in the way that there was also a portion where it's just text, like the forums that you could post in. I don't think any of these types of games should ever resurface. I find it crazy that there's still posts to this day asking for its return. I just don't think it's a smart decision. Like, have you seen TikTok comments? I was probably playing this game when I was 13, so that was 2012 when I was on it, and I played it for very long too, till on and off until 2016. And then on top of that, the drop-off period was the game started to die. A lot of users were dwindling, so it felt like there was no reason to go there if there's no people on it to chat to. As I get more into this, if I miss any information, please let me know in the comments below. We'd love to hear your thoughts and opinions. Meez launched on March 28, 2006. It was a free-to-play virtual world that was developed by Donnerwood Media as an online entertainment social networking service. It was founded by Sean Ryan, the former vice president of the music service Real Networks, and Meez CEO John Cahill, who was a former Yahoo executive. Meez's main draw was the Meez Nation, where users could visit several regions known as hoods to chat with other users in chat rooms. Meez had over 3 million unique users who would spend 60 hours a month on the site. There were 13 million registered Meez users by the time the site had become discontinued, 90% of whom were in the United States. Meez advertisers included Nike, Rockaware, Domo, Coast, the NBA, and the NHL. MIS quarterly estimated that its users were primarily children and teenagers. Also, really love the line here. In 2007, Meez was named one of the internet's 5 worst websites by Time. Meez went offline in December 2017 with no warning to its users, and its site domain later expired in March 2018. Donnerwood Media has not given any statements about how or why Meez was taken down. Getting into the game, in quotes, I always put in quotes because it's not really a game, you're just chatting. There were games like mini games. That was a separate section of the site. was a whole other tab, and that's how you win Meez coins. But the actual game was the actual chat rooms, which a lot of them were dead, especially near the end. But even in the beginning, a lot of people tend to congregate in like maybe 2 or 3 places, and you're just waiting, you're just hitting the refresh or enter over and over to get in because you want to be in the place where other people are, right? And then you had your personal rooms where you could watch fun YouTube videos and kind of have your own setup going, decorate it how you want. You also had your forums, which was mostly like a cesspool of depression. But I will say there were a lot of like contests, art posting, really nice like happy-go-lucky posting, but there were sections of it that really felt like, okay, I think we need to reel it back. But it probably was a good place for people to kind of talk about the problems, really kind of vent, just to talk to someone, because this is 2006 to 2017. I feel like the last year there was barely anyone playing this game, but this wasn't a very accepting time of mental health. And then there was also the minigame section with minigames where you can win in-game currency. So playing the game, you will be immediately met with a social hierarchy. You'll open the game, you'll hop into a chat room, and you'll try to talk to people. And some people would go type, ew, noob, newbie, you know, like, because your character didn't have the complete glitched out look. In order to be perceived as cool in the game, you need to have the most glitched out avatar. In order to do so, well, for one, you need the items to glitch onto your character, either by paying directly with Meez cash and coins and buying the items that way, buying these items by playing mini games, win coins, and pay that way. There are other ways to do that, but we'll get into that later as well. So now that you have your items, you will need to set up your system. Okay, I know it sounds crazy. Open 3 tabs, go to the customize your character section. Then we start layering. So your first tab is your base, your second tab is your middle, and your last tab is your foreground layers, okay? Now you have to be able to perceive everything as layers. The third layer was always a hit or miss. It sometimes really messed up the whole thing. Like, for example, you would have all your layers set up, you do the thing, and then for some reason, the third layer will either work or it will override your entire outfit, and then you'll end up looking like a weird eyelashed naked baby. So now that you have your 3 open tabs, your 3 layers, add the items in a way that you have your base layer, you have like your tops, your normal hair, makeup, all that. And then your second layer is like sweater on top, or like more accessories, eyelashes, because you can only have one on at a time. And then your third layer is all of your extra accessories if you have like an extra piece of makeup that you want on, or like a face painting, or more hair, like an extra piece of hair in this one part of your head. Think of it like that. So when you have all that set up, now somehow, as close as possible as you can get it, take your mouse and hit the save button as fast as possible on each one so that it almost perceivable as the same time. It just works, okay? And now that you did that, you should look so insane that it's so cool, okay? And it was really cool because you could do really crazy outfits and stuff that really looked awesome. There's also like some people could glitch bodies on top of each other, so you could have like a morphed figure, which was really cool as well. You could get really creative with it. A lot of people tended to do like the emo, classic emo, or like the steampunk was really popular. That was really popular then. Or like just being alt, like, or like the, I don't know how to explain it. Like, I don't know the term for this, but it was like emo, but bright. It wasn't seen. It was like, it was different. It was a separate subsection of emo. But it was really cool looking. Now that you have that, we can move on to the next section where now that you look cool, now you need the moves. Within the social hierarchy, it's very interesting. You have to look cool, and then you have to have these idle animations that are part of the game. Some of these animations are only available through having VIP within the game, but it was a way to make you stand out. Imagine this, you're in a chat room, you open it up, you click on the floor, your character walks in, and the first thing you see is some guy in the middle of the room doing the stanky leg. And that's the coolest thing you've ever seen. So you're like, I'm gonna be friends with this person. That's how it was. So there was a bunch of idle animations that you could only get specifically in specific locations. They were really cool ones. And I use cool as in then it was cool, not cool now. I don't think any kid now was like, yeah, I love doing the Dougie. But there was a lot of animations that you can only get with VIP. You can only get a lot of these through specific locations within some of these chat rooms from these vendors. And there were really specific dances that were seen as popular. So number 1 is this dance. Number 2 was this weird thing. Number 3 was the stanky leg. Okay. And number 4 was this. And number 5 was this. There were a lot more dances, but these were like the top 5 that I remember that I'm like, yeah, this was cool, kind of. Now that we explained the kind of social hierarchy this game created within itself, now that you have the moves and the looks, now what? Well, everyone is socially awkward. This is a game filled with a bunch of kids who are emo, alt, scene, vaguely emo, just want to roleplay as being emo. Speaking to people in here was very hit or miss. Very scared to type the word hi. They tremble at the keyboard, shaking, crying, sweating, typing the letters HELLO, but you can pretty much approach any group. But yeah, there was bullying on here, kind of obvious. If there is like a chat room full of teenagers, that's bound to happen. And also, if teens are mean, they're very mean. As I'm speaking about this, you're probably thinking there's a lot of similarities here between this and IMVU and Habbo Hotel. Yeah, they're all kind of similar, but they all had like their own different set of controversies. Habbo Hotel is a whole other can of worms. So, the chat rooms. Pretty nice. Like these chat rooms, they had themes and music set to those themes. And then you had idle animations that you buy from vendors. I personally like the haunted areas because it was really unique, fun, spooky, and I was deep and mysterious. There was also moments where admins of the game, people who monitor these rooms sometimes, would also show up in these chat rooms just to say hi, to kind of show face that they're present. Those were nice moments. They would answer questions sometimes or just hanging out for like 5 minutes before poofing away. So, this is gonna be very short, but I don't know what people were thinking when they were like, yeah, so this is a game for kids, right? Let's give them private rooms in the game that is practically unmonitored. The idea was have friends over, watch YouTube videos on that screen that pulls down together. Not bad, right? It's your own personal space that you could decorate however you like. What could go wrong? Huh? Oh, everything? Oh. What's roleplay? Oh, okay. Are they asking you for personal information now that you are in a closed space together? is the fact that this is like a unmonitored conversation between a teen and a possible adult, a potential reason for the closure of this game? Who knows? Just a theory, just an idea. If you have any theories, let me know in the comments below. I don't think that was the reason for its closure. It had to be a money thing or an optimization issue. Let's talk about those actually. As of today, there's no official reason given for the closure of Meez, but there are only rumors. See, Donnerwood Media has not given a statement as to why this closed. It just shut down and then that was it. Here are the main theories that are being spread, but I also want to preface this by saying, before I speak on these two theories that are completely valid, look into why MSN chat rooms ended and then get back to me on what you think. So theory one, this is the one I see everywhere all the time. It's a money thing. You can hack the game for Meez coins and cash. I mean, if you have a system built on the social hierarchy of wealth and materialism, people are going to want to exploit it. There's also that good old RuneScape method of, hey, I can give you Meez coins if you let me log into your account. Classic stuff, really. Another thing, are they even making money running this thing? They had the VIP membership in order to have access to cool animations, specific items that only VIPs could have. So they had that. They also had just the regular clothing and hair animations that needed to be purchased with money. So that's another reason why people would make purchases, right? Was that generating enough wealth? I don't know. I do hear that a lot. People mention it just wasn't making any money from the hacking. Theory 2, the optimization issues of this game. Truly felt like maybe 6 people at most were managing this game. There was moments I remember playing this and everyone would complain about the lag, and there was constant maintenance on here. It was a browser-based game, but I imagine it would be a lot to try to host that many people with that little people in the team. A lot of users on here, 3 million, not at the same time I imagine, but that's still a lot of people to manage. And then you had to monitor every discussion, what people were typing in their personal rooms, which no way they did that. You gotta monitor the forums, which I imagine was a bit easier because people tend to moderate themselves in those sections of the internet, but there were still issues there. Scams were prevalent. There were lots of like fake Meez coin generator apps that you download, basically just hacked your account and probably just hacked all your information that was on a computer. And this kind of merges into the first theory, the money theory. If they weren't generating much money, how are they going to hire more people for help and assistance on this game? I can see the many reasons why this would fail. I mean, it also had the rough start in the beginning after launching, receiving the worst title imaginable, being named one of the internet's 5 worst websites by Time magazine. But to this day, there's a lot of people who want this game back. The change.org petition, all my links, as usual, are in the description below. I would say if you truly want this back, have the funding and have the staff. Here's a fun tidbit. There's a group of developers that got together that are trying to revamp Meez. They're bringing it back. It's called Meez Nation. They're currently in the development process. I don't think it's live yet. That link is also in the description. Yeah, give it a look. Check their socials. I saw they recently posted idle animations for marriage within the game. That was also a thing. Just imagine MySpace but animated. How about that? You probably have a better idea of it now. Everything I said before, ignore it. Just imagine MySpace but animated. all in all, there were a lot of reasons for this to close down. And honestly, there were a lot of reasons for any of these chat rooms to close, really. And I know there's a lot of people who want this game back. And I get it. They probably made friends here, vented, talked about their personal problems, went through it inside this game. The nostalgia of it too, or just having a funny conversation with someone on here. I think it was the fate of any of these online chat room games because it was a relic of its time. I think we have something similar to that with Discord, where you have your own specified icon. But avatars were truly an early 2000s to late 2010s. It was surging in popularity then. I'm going to keep talking about other chat room games like this in other videos, but I always want to hear your personal experiences. If I miss any information regarding this, please let me know. I also want to hear your personal experiences with Meez, if you have any. If you play something similar, let me know. I might talk about it next. Yeah, so thank you so much for listening. Like, comment, and subscribe for more. Thank you. Bye. Okay, that's it. Bye.